Today we're taking a look at these NHL matches, which are happening on Sunday, May 7, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. The Carolina Hurricanes had a fantastic regular season, winning the Metropolitan Division on the last day of the regular season, finishing a point ahead of the Devils with a 52-21-9 record. Despite ending the regular season with 2 wins in a row to win the division, they were on a slight slump finishing the season, with 5 wins in their last 11 games. The Hurricanes have been good on both ends of the ice. They've scored an average of 3.2 goals per game, the 15th most in the NHL on an average of 34.8 shots per game. They've generated the 5th most expected goals, 3.58 per game, and the 3rd most high-danger shots in the league. Carolina has scored on 19.8% of their power play chances. They are led in scoring by Martin Necas, 71 points, 43 assists, and Sebastian Aho, 36 goals. The Canes will be without 3 of their best players though, who are out for the rest of this season with injuries in Andrei Svechnikov, Max Pacioretty, and Teuvo Teravainen. In their first-round series against the Islanders, Carolina Game 1 at home 2-1 inside regulation, and then won Game 2 4-3 in overtime. In Game 2, the Canes outshot the Isles 36-26, but were outplayed by an expected goal rate of 2.71-2.29, with the game winner coming off a controversial no call for high sticking. After the Canes won Games 1 and 2 at home, the Islanders poured it on in the last 4 minutes of Game 3 for the first playoff game at UBS Arena, with 4 goals in those closing minutes to win 5-1 in a game that was much closer than the score showed. The Islanders outshot Carolina 37-31 and dominated the Hurricanes by an expected goal rate of 5.16-2.37. The Canes answered back in Game 4 on Long Island with a huge 5-2 win on the road to take a 3-1 series lead. They dominated the Islanders by an expected goal rate of 3.67-2.19. The Islanders held off elimination with a 3-2 win on the road in Carolina in Game 5 on Tuesday night. The Canes outshot the Isles 36-22 and outplayed them by an expected goal rate of 3.952, but couldn't tie up the game with another great performance and goal from Ilya Sorokin. On Long Island in Game 6, the Hurricanes ended the series with a 2-1 overtime win on the road, with Paul Stastny's game winner 6 minutes in OT. They outshot the Isles 41-34 and outplayed New York by an expected goal rate of 3.96-2.78. Despite once again getting dominated in Game 2, the Devils played much better than they did in Game 1, especially early on before Carolina had a multiple goal lead. The first round series for both of these teams went similarly. The Canes dominated their first several games against the Islanders, but then struggled on the road. The Devils got crushed in Games 1 and 2 against the Rangers, but then powered through to win the series. This is a must-win game tonight for the Devils. They cannot lose at home to go down 3-0 in the series or this series is over. Along with the road struggles for the Canes, I expect Lindy Ruff to make the right adjustments for New Jersey to get the series back on track with a win on home ice. Take the Devils to get the series back on track at home. Game 1 of this series should have stayed under, with a pointless empty net goal to hit the over by half a point late in the game. The under looked great in Game 2 until a flurry of goals for Carolina late in the second period. Both of these teams have been very good defensively, and I'm expecting the games in this series to trend under. During the regular season, the Hurricanes allowed the second fewest goals in the NHL, having given up the fewest expected goals and the fewest high-danger shots. The Devils allowed the 8th fewest goals in the NHL, having given up the 3rd fewest expected goals and the 3rd fewest high-danger shots. In the first round of the playoffs that continued. In the first round, the Devils allowed the 2nd fewest goals backstopped by the incredible goaltending of Akira Schmid, and that's despite allowing 5 goals in each of the first 2 games of the series. The Hurricanes were very good defensively in the first round as well, allowing the 6th fewest goals of the first round. Take the under. Toronto Maple Leafs vs Florida Panthers. Florida had a very good offense this season. The Panthers ranked 6th in goals per game and 1st in shots per game. Matthew Tkachuk led the team with 109 points. He was tied for 5th in points and tied for 4th in assists among all players in the league. Tkachuk scored the only goal for the Panthers in Game 1. Alexander Barkov had 78 points, Carter Verhaeghe had 73 points, and Sam Reinhart had 67 points. Florida's offense was very good in round 1 against the Boston Bruins. The Panthers scored 4 or more goals in 4 out of 7 games in round 1 against Boston. They are off to a good start in the second round, scoring 3 or more goals in games 1 and 2 against Toronto. Matthew Tkachuk leads the team with 15 points in the playoffs. Florida won both road games and have a 2-0 lead on the Maple Leafs in the playoff series. Toronto's offense has been a problem in the second round, scoring just 2 goals in each of the first 2 games of the series. Their offense was very good in round 1 and they will start to play better on offense. The Maple Leafs are too talented on offense to continue to struggle to score. Florida's goaltending is shaky and has been all season and in the first round of the playoffs. The Maple Leafs will look to play better on the road and their offense will wake up. While Toronto is down 2-0 in the playoff series, the Maple Leafs won the regular season series 3-1 against Florida. Look for Toronto's offense to have a big Game 3 and win the game. The Maple Leafs will win Game 3. Take Toronto on the money line. The under hit in games 1 and 2 of the playoff series, but that is due to Toronto's lack of offense at home in the first 2 games. They are too talented on offense to continue to struggle, and Florida's goaltending is shaky. Both teams have been very good on offense in the regular season and in the playoffs. Expect Game 3 to be a higher scoring game with both teams' offenses stepping up. The over will hit in Game 3. Take the over, 6.5 goals. Dallas Stars vs Seattle Kraken. The Dallas Stars got hot to close out the division rival Minnesota Wild in the first round of the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs, but after losing Game 1 in this series against Seattle, they now find themselves fighting to regain home ice advantage against the young, upstart team. The Seattle Kraken pulled off an amazing upset in round 1 of the playoffs, and with confidence and fantastic goaltending behind them, they've become a genuine threat in this matchup, and after stealing a game in Dallas, they've got a chance to keep this magical run alive. In their past 28 games against teams with a winning record, however, the Kraken have overall struggled with an 8-20 record, but they find themselves 9-4 in their past 13 games against the Central Division, meaning anything can happen in this critical Game 3 encounter. Despite stealing home ice away from Dallas, the Kraken are still very new to the stage, and despite all of their talent, the Stars are still a much more experienced unit, and that will favor them in this matchup down the stretch. In the past 5 overall meetings between these teams, the road team have come away with a 4-1 record, and after bouncing back nicely for a win in Game 2, this is the time that Dallas will truly make their mark on this series. Despite the solid goaltending on both sides of this matchup, the first 2 games in this series have seen plenty of goals scored, 15 through 2 games, and in their past 5 head-to-head meetings, the over sits at 5-0. For the Dallas Stars, the over is 5-1-1 in their past 7 road games, and with so much depth offensively on both sides, this game could go either way, but one thing is for certain, and that is that we should see plenty of quality chances in this one. Our total pick is to take the over,